Armored Core What Ifs. In today's What If, I'm going to try and create a story of what would happen if none of Walter's hounds died. As we know, 619 and 620 perish after fighting a PCA cataphract, while 617 would die after destroying a large laser cannon, which seemed to be the target of this mission. The exact location of this mission is never given. But it's their deaths that would lead to Walter having to use another hound, 621, and we all know the story of this lone dog. But let's change the record. Let me now present you with two what-if stories from this outcome. The first being the more simple one, and a little off-topic I admit, but I think it does well here when speaking about Walter's hounds. In this first alternative story, only 617 manages to survive the mission, proving to be the more skilled than the rest. Handler Walter is not one to waste resources, and with the completion of this mission, he decides to move forward with a single hound in his pocket. As such, 617 is recovered by Walter, as I am taking the idea here that this mission happens on Rubicon 3. So there is no need to re-enter the planet. Instead, 617 now takes the path of 621, with Walter and 617 going through the same ups and downs. However, this is where this alternative story could be very short. I say this as 621 only managed to survive the coral blast from the watch point thanks to air. But the key differences between the two hounds is 621 is unique, a candidate for All Minds coral release. And it's this uniqueness what allows 621 to meet air, something 617 is not. As such, it is very possible that this new Raven is killed by Sulla or the coral explosion. That said, there is also the chance 617 is able to overcome these threats without dying. As such, 617 could achieve the Raven that burned Rubicon ending or the Liberator of Rubicon. On the other hand, 617 could die to a range of people, from Rusty to Carla. But this is just one story of this what if, and I've put it up first as from watching the video of the battle, 617 seems to be the one with the most skills between the three. Now moving on to the second alternative story of this what if, where all three of Walter's hounds survive. It begins in that very battle. After reaching their objective, the three hounds move in sync, like a pack of huskies pulling a sledge. Each one knows their role and how best to do their job. 619 fires off their back missiles, the barrage of missiles taking to the skies, only to rain down on the emplacements mere moments later. However, just as the missiles finish launching, 617 alerts his fellow hound of an incoming attack, allowing 619 to sharply boost to the right, as the huge laser rockets past like a fiery train of death. Now needing time to charge, the three hounds move up with Handler Walter watching on a screen as the three breach the base. Flying over the now burning emplacements that 619 missiles struck mere moments ago, chain guns open fire from the remaining defenders. The bullets whizzing at the dashing hounds, 617 deploys their shield to take the brunt of the fire for his allies as they advance, 619 on their left side, while 620 falls behind the leader. But the sheer force and number of bullets causes the shield to be torn from the hound's core with a loud crack. Next to go on 617 is their right arm. Again, a heavy metal crack could be heard as it's ripped from its socket. Their leader gave up his arm to protect them. Now the other hounds would have to step up as they race towards their goal. All three hounds could see the giant laser cannon recharging with a flickering, bright sky blue light from its front. Their goal in sight, and yet fate was not about to let these hounds have the easy walk home. For from underground, a hulking machine bursts out, leaping over their heads like the famed Cerberus of hell, coming up to do battle with them. The hulking machine lands with an earth-shattering thud, making all three hounds look at it before it stares back at them. 617 opens fire first with their only weapon, a Gatling gun that rattles loudly as it unloads into the beast we now know as the cataphract. Meanwhile, 619 and 620 make their move. Working together, they sweep around their new foe, with 619 taking the left side while 620 takes the right. Both dance around the beast like wild dogs circling their prey. The cataphract fires at the two hounds with dual heavy chain guns from inside its hulking body. The sheer noise alone makes it sound like this war machine is roaring as it spins itself around on its many tracks to give chase. 620 is the first of the pair to open fire on their giant foe. Pistols blazing hot from the rapid fire, they do very little against the armor of the PCA war machine, which fires back with a few bursts of an energy cannon, scattering energy shots at 620. The first round hits the left arm of the pistol-wielding hound, blasting it clear from the armored core's body. The next shot from the PCA war machine, however, would never come, for 617 rams the center of the craft with its Gatling gun and unloads. The three hounds are eaten by the flames of the exploding PCA war machine, and chunks of metal hammer onto their armored core bodies with echoing thuds. Yet from the fires and gun-charred ground, the three hounds rise. 617 now without a weapon as the red-hot Gatling gun is buried deep into the burning corpse of the cataphract. The leader should use their last resort to deal with the target, but before the lead hound can act, his fellow dogs do. 620 this time takes the lead as the hound blasts off towards the stationary cannon, with 619 following behind. 617's armored core goes to follow as well, but it's a lot slower. The huge energy cannon compared to the PCA craft for the hounds is like night and day. To them it might as well already be dead, as the defenses it has to offer are nothing compared to the beast the three just fought. 619 is the main attacker this time, their AC in the best shape out of the three. The AC grips its rifle in its right hand and a grenade launcher in its left, as it unleashes them both onto the cannon, making the whole thing shake. 620 backs up his fellow hound by using its spare rifle in the one hand the armored core still has. Taking the attention of the defenses of the cannon, the craft takes some hits, but they are nothing as they ricochet off the armored core. Within minutes, the pair's assault leaves the cannon and its defenses as nothing but scrap. Both 620 and 619 pull back from the exploding cannon and reunite with their leader, who did the wise thing and stayed back. The three hounds stand there for a moment as 617 reports back. Mission complete, Handler Walter. Not a word is said between the three augmented humans as they wait for their next order. Their feelings suppressed by their enhancements, they wait to be recovered by Handler Walter, who orders them to stand down for now. Repairs take some time, however the Houndmaster still has his pack to use as he pleases. This will only help in his plan. He keeps in contact with Cinder Carla during the repairing of his hounds, talking to her as the Master of Hounds now needs to decide what to do with his three mutts. Carla is quick to suggest Walter does not keep the pack together, as too many cooks can ruin a meal, adding in after how she'd be happy to take one off his hands. The Houndmaster tells her he will keep this in mind, even as in the back of his old head he wonders what she would do with a hound of his. Walter's next thought, however, is more focused. He wonders about using his hounds as agents within the factions on Rubicon, the Rubicon Liberation Front, Arquebus and Balaam. A spy in every camp, it certainly would allow his eyes and ears to be everywhere. But he had to be careful too, as even hounds can turn on their master, if away from the kennel too long. Perhaps he should send one of his hounds to Carla, even if she does nothing useful with him. It certainly would not hurt to have an eye on his associates' doings. The minutes turn to hours as he plans, But soon Handler Walter makes up his mind. Plans for every turn and twist that could happen, he had planned for it all. And to start his grand plan, 620 would be sent to RAD, where the Hound would report back what is happening there and what Carla has the Hound do. Meanwhile, for 617 and 619, they would be his mercenaries, but they would need call signs. Luckily, Walter knew where to find some. A recent battle in a city taken over by the Rubicon Liberation Front had been the subject to attacks from the corporations. Among them were sure to be mercenaries, since there was no easy way in and out of Rubicon 3, and the corporations needed to use mercenaries already on the planet to save their own numbers. Orders issued, 620 would leave the pack to join another, while his fellow Hounds made their way to the contaminated city. The Rubicon front muscle tracers were no match for the pair as they made their way. Walter would keep a close eye on the pair as they went about searching the wrecks for pilot data. The first one they found is a corporation pilot. Their license would be no good, so the pair move on. The next belongs to a mercenary named Monkey Gordo. Walter is not happy about the rank of this mercenary license, but he has little choice when he needs 2 licenses for his Hounds. 619 is ordered to take it and call themselves Monkey Gordo from now on. With this new name, 619 follows on behind 617, who would be ordered to check on one last wreckage near the city's edge. The pair battle through more Rubicon Liberation Front forces till they come to the last wreckage. Walter checks the license of the wreck, commenting, "It looks good," and is about to order the 2 back when a large armored helicopter spots the 2 Hounds and opens fire with its Gatling guns. The 2 Hounds boost off in different directions to avoid the hail of bullets. The helicopter focuses on 617, whose boost put it near its heavily armored front end, while 619, seeing the helicopter has no weapons on its back, wastes no time in attacking its undefended rear. Swaying from side to side and switching between foes, the helicopter is trapped between the 2 Hounds as each one takes their turn to attack the rear end of the aircraft until it goes down. The battle over, 617 now takes the name of the pilot data from the last wreckage, Raven. With 2 new identities, 619 now becomes known as Monkey, while 617 becomes Raven. The mercenaries are collected by Walter once more to be repaired, and the next phase of his plans begin. Raven will do Balaam missions, while Monkey will do Arquebus missions, as both are seeking mercenaries. The Houndmaster decided to see which of his Hounds will live or die. If both make it through, he will have plenty to offer his next target. Otherwise, the better Hound will become his pawn in his plan. That is, until Walter tries to attack the watchpoint. For even if both Monkey and Raven survive and attack the watchpoint as a team, or one after another, Sulla or the coral explosion would kill them both. Speaking of the backup Hound, 620, when Walter goes to call 620 back, the mutt has become addicted to coral. Hanging around coral addicts has transformed the once pistol-slinging Hound into nothing more than a drug-ridden mutt, who now only seeks their next fix and shows no interest in leaving the grid. In the end, Walter has to go back to his Hound dealer to pick up 621. However, without Air, this Hound's story will not be the same. Stuck to be the Raven who burns Rubicon 3, or absorbed by Allmind to complete its coral release plan, there is one thing for sure: Air will not be there to aid 621 in their journey if Walter's Hounds survive their mission.